we've been coming down the west coast. So from Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, all the way down to South Africa. Then inland, Botswana, Zambia, back east, Mozambique, which is where we did the Nimbus install. And now up east, up north, now in Kenya. And it's been fabulous. Let's be honest, it's been challenging. We did the install, which was slightly challenging because we did it on a campsite in Mozambique at 40 degrees heat Celsius. So it was hot. We were out in the sun, but the next morning, the moment we left the campsite, it was straight away, we were like, wow, what's this? So Rafiki, before, it would bounce around. We installed airbags in the rear springs. Not the ideal setup, but that helped a little bit, but still it was bouncy. And every time there was corrugation, like we almost lost a roof ring. Like the car still moves, of course, but it was feeling like we were driving on clouds, on a pillow basically. So every time we hit a pothole or a hole in the track, it would just be cushioned extremely well. Later we were driving on corrugation, and for the first time in 2.5 years, or in 10 years, we were listening to a podcast while driving on corrugation. So the car is stable on the road, but off-road, we have our full movement of the suspension back, our full articulation is back. So we can be driving over super rough terrain and everything stays in touch with the ground. It's crazy. Maybe talking now, meeting you, maybe it's nice to know how we met Nimbus, because actually we were driving on the tracks for the past 2.5 years and it was so horrible on the tracks. Like the corrugation just shook Rafiki apart. And that's actually when we came across Nimbus and we said, hey guys, your technology seems to be super interesting. Let's just plan a call. And the team of Nimbus being the team, they are super involved. So that was so cool to get to know the guys, get to chat to them, and they're so knowledgeable, right? So they know springs, they know shocks, but they know the whole works of Defenders, Grenadier, Land Cruiser, whatever. They're so involved in the community and the works that it was so good to talk to them. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Nimbus are investing in their growth. We're being really well supported by the guys back at the factory.
Yeah.
And our aim is to build an install and support network, probably starting in East Africa, South Africa, and then somewhere in West Africa.
Yeah.
And we'll grow with the customers.
But I think that's nice because we've been ditching our old shocks every 1, 2, 3 years. Then they were done. Knowing that Nimbus is built better, it's gonna last longer.
Yeah. The custom bespoke journey should be available for more and more people who really, really will see the benefit of the crazy roads and tracks that Africa throws at you every single day.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think comparing, slightly touching on that topic again, that for us, that not only the comfort's enhanced, but looking at the vehicle before and now, how it's behaving, it's also prolonging the life of our vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a Defender is riveted, our rivets would pop out every week, and now it's...
So I'm Manon, and together with Tobias, my partner, and our dog Nimba, we're traveling in our Defender. We might be known as Rafiki on tour, because we actually gathered quite a following over the past 2.5 years. And it's been wonderful. I mean, we left for Africa with zero knowledge. I actually applied for a job in Kenya, and that was my reasoning to say, let's go to Africa. And it's 2.5 years later before we actually reached the country that I wanted to see so dearly. But it's been amazing. And what a cultural insight it has given me. So that has been life-changing, if I can say it like that. Yeah, and then talking about the car, which is of course why we're here. I am not a car fanatic. So literally I hooked on because I wanted to escape life in the Netherlands. I sat in Rafiki once, which is the car's name. And I know I'm tall, so sitting in a car with air conditioning, I was like, it's a bit tight, but I'll manage. I knew it's an adventure. Then you get to corrosion and everything not so fun. And you're like, oh, okay, long hours in the car. It's just intense. Mentally, physically, just being rocked around like this, like my neck started to hurt a lot. And then you wonder, like, what can we change comfort-wise? When we got in touch with Nimbus about a year ago, it was like, this cannot be true. It's like a flying carpet effect or living in the clouds, and you're like, yeah, well, I don't know much about car stuff, but if that's true, then I want to try it. It took us 1 year to get them here, and it's been fantastic. So since Mozambique, where the roads are very underdeveloped, I would say, we've gotten to experience what it's like to have the Nimbus. It's such a difference. Like, I'm trying to find the right words here, but instead of being rocked around, you're still being rocked, but I think cushion might be the right word. It's such a difference. And I'm mostly the passenger. I used to drive a lot as well, but in Africa, well, shifted a bit. So I would say I'm driving only 30% of the time, mostly as a passenger. And you want to be comfortable. I mean, a driver is seated straight up, like a little bit under tension, and you're always seeing what's going to come. So you'll know, okay, in 1 second I'll have a hole there or a bump there. As a passenger, you're not that focused on what's going to come, anticipate on your body, whatever. So yeah, having the Nimbus has definitely changed life on the passenger side.
A normal shock is, everybody knows how a normal shock looks like. Then you have upgraded versions with reservoirs and adjustment knobs, etc. But using a different technique. And now Nimbus managed to do oil and nitrogen in one simple shock. So it's the form factor of a shock, but with the function of a shock and an hydraulic spring, an air pressurized spring basically. So it's fairly easy to install because it's that same form factor, but you can't compress it by hand. And that for us was the biggest challenge with the fireplace, because the challenge of fitting them is just to get enough articulation to fit them in there and then lower everything in place. If you have a proper workshop like here today, you can install them, check them out, whatever, easily. We were jacking them up with a bottle jack, using stones of the fireplace to support the axle, to lift the vehicle, more rocks on top of each other, etc. It was horrible, but it worked. We managed. So if we can do it in a campsite with no tools, like in a workshop, it's fine. We're actually at Advanced Motorworks here because they invited us over to make use of this workshop. For us, normally we don't get to choose where we do maintenance or do checkups. It's always in the bush. And they said, come over, let's just go over the vehicle. And now we made use of it, just checking everything. And Chris from Nimbus invited us over as well, joining in to see how the Nimbuses are performing. They're doing fabulous, but it's nice just checking out that everything is still working fine after, I would say 5, 6, no, maybe even 8,000 kilometers of tracks, gravel, mud, sand, corrugation, pothole, tarmac, whatever. So it's really nice just going over the vehicle, making sure everything is sound.